Hey everyone, me Kevin here. What you're about to see is me confronting a lot of different folks about homelessness. It gets really intense at parts, and well, it should be, because homelessness is a massive issue in the state of California. And so what I did is I decided to go to the Echo Park reopening in Los Angeles. This Echo Park was a location where police swarmed the park to remove everyone in the park by force if necessary, removing many homeless encampments, about 200 homeless individuals, many of them getting displaced and not having proper housing. The statistics and all the details around this are available online, but what I really want to show you in this video is me talking to the people of this community. So in this video, you're going to see me talking to people who at first are extremely skeptical, because here I am coming with a tie and a dress shirt and a blazer talking to people about Echo Park when the folks in charge who kind of kicked everyone out, who evicted people out of Echo Park, are the people with suits and ties, the existing politicians. So I'm coming into a pretty hot situation. But we end up talking to homeless rights advocates, homeless people who used to be homeless who have become advocates, people who are currently trying to get out of homelessness. We ended up talking to a captain of the LAPD, the chief of Parks and Recs in LA County, who has to deal with homelessness in parks. We do a lot of good talking here, a lot of conversations, and what you'll find is a lot of situations that start out pretty intense. When folks hear our plan for governor, they start becoming a little bit more interested in the change that we could bring to California and start liking our plan as a real solution for California. But I'll let you decide how people respond. So we're just gonna show you a lot of raw footage here. Let me know what you think. We'll probably post some clips at some point in the future, but for now, here you go.
If we focus on fights, we're not going to get solutions. Look, at the end of the day,
we can look. It's not that big.
He ends up paying what he promises. It's yet to see, but I want to hear him out because
together as Californians, we must show compassion to the people who are dying on our streets. They need 3 meals a day. They need clothing, food, hygiene, bathrooms, showers. I am tired of seeing people dying on the streets of California. If I become governor of California, I don't care which nonprofit stands up to work with me. I will end homelessness in California, everywhere in our state. Not this park, every single where. I am here to help.
He's here to help. Let's just give him some space.
we will, but we took you into consideration. Thank you. And
can I say one more thing to you? We are equal, but you know what? You are right to be skeptical of somebody coming to this park with a tie. You know why?
I have a suit on, so I am better than you. I am wearing a suit.
No.
I am better than you. No. Hey, I'm wearing a suit. I'm wearing a suit. Look at my tie.
We are not going to antagonize this protest.
I want to answer your question. Here's the thing. You know why you should all be frustrated at people with ties? Because they've all been lying to us in the state, and I'm tired of it. So I don't blame you for being skeptical of me. Go to meetkevin.com, see my 20-part plan, see my interviews, see what my plan is to fix this state, and this state will get better.
Yeah, I have one thing. We don't go to you. You come to us because
why do you think I'm here? Why do you think I'm here? To come to you. I'm here for you.
You look sharp.
Thank you. 10 minutes here. Go ahead. What's up?
I want to commend you on this effort to speak to us.
Yes.
I do want to let you know, from someone who's suffering from this experience,
yes.
I came home from prison 2 years ago. Okay. I'm a medical assistant. I'm going to school now.
Good for you, man.
I'm struggling with the police and how they treat me. Still.
It's horrible.
I'm struggling with homelessness. I want you to know that I was involved with Paffrath. I was involved with rabbit rehousing. I still have not been housed yet.
The programs are horrible in this state. There's
no
so
reason.
many of them, but they all fail to solve the problem.
Facts.
You need access to quality education, shelter, and then you can have equal opportunity. Until we have that, until we solve the problems in the state, how is anybody supposed to get ahead?
That's my fact. So there's no excuse for anyone like me going to school, almost done, to be homeless and on the streets. There's no
100%,
there's no excuse for that. Where's the American dream?
No excuse.
Where's the American dream?
It's impossible in California with this governor.
Exactly.
It's impossible with this governor.
These are the things that need to be handled.
You're so right. You're so right.
I thank you.
What's your name?
My name is Jonathan Briscoe.
Can I text you?
Oh yeah.
What's your number?
My number is 323.
I don't know. I understand you're jaded because I came here with a tie. I want to help. I want to help everyone. What's your name or number? Sorry. Thank you, man. All right. Things are gonna get better, all right?
All right. Appreciate it.
Hey. Thanks for being here. Yeah, absolutely. Thank you.
That's a part of politics.
That's a part of politics. Every day.
Oh, thank you for that. I think that's awesome.
So you're
This is a part of politics.
fan.
Don't let it phase you.
No.
What you're doing is needed. What you're doing is needed.
Well, thank you for that. Appreciate it.
Keep
Thanks for being
going.
here. Really, we're excited to
Keep
see the park
going.
open again.
Anything you need me to do, man. Like I said, up there in Antelope Valley, I'd be down to campaign for you.
That's amazing. Yeah, if you can, if you haven't already, send an email to staff@bkevin.com, because when we go to different areas, we're going to send out alerts, and we're going to look for people who say they're in a county or city,
Yeah.
and we'll send out emails too.
That'd be great.
Absolutely. Thank you for that, and thanks for being here. Set on in. Let's go. Meet Kevin for governor is going to fix homelessness in this state.
Amen.
Woo! I'm going to try to talk to the captain. Let's see if we can do that. That's right. Excuse me, Captain. Would you be interested in me asking you? Could I ask you a couple questions?
Sure.
Thank you. Could you give us a brief summary of what's going on out here? And from your point of view.
No other mic.
Yes.
The park has been reopened. The park was closed for 8 weeks. During that 8 weeks, they spent over $1 million in repairing all the damage that was done to the park. And at this point, they have elected to reopen the park for everybody's use.
Now, I have a question for you. How has, I saw a tweet from the sheriff of Los Angeles, the specific sheriff. He mentioned that he's frustrated that the city and county can't seem to handle homelessness together, that it's almost like they're fighting each other. What are you seeing with your officers on the street? Is there a lack of support from the government? Is it a lack of coordination? What would solve homelessness from your point of view?
Well, you're asking a very complicated question, especially when you're dealing. Lower the mic, please.
Sorry.
Especially when you're dealing with multiple layers of city government. You got county government with the sheriff. You got city government with the mayor and the chief of police. As the commanding officer of Rampart Division, I'm focused only on Rampart Division, and we do need outreach. We do need to get people homeless shelters. We need to get people out of tents. Long-term living in tents is not healthy, and everybody will tell you that. So we have to give outreach. We have to get people into structures, whether it be a project room key, a project home key, a shelter, but getting people indoors is what we need to do. And so it's having valuable resources that get out there and help people. And that's what we need, whether it be Urban Alchemy out of a private fund that brought them in, whether it be LASA that is working with them, whether it be PATH. There are many organizations out there. Do they need to speak together? I believe they are, and they're trying.
Yeah.
Do we feel that we're going to accomplish this? I don't know.
Wow. Are you optimistic about the next 5 years, the way things are going now? Or are we going to see maybe a dent in homelessness? Like, when is this going to be solved? And why is it being treated as a state of emergency?
It is a state of emergency. Yeah. That's why every entity of the city government has a homeless coordinator. That's why the Los Angeles Police Department has a homeless coordinator.
Yeah.
It's very important. That's why the mayor has elected a homeless coordinator out of his council members.
Yeah.
You're asking me homeless issues. I focus on crime. I focus on public safety. I could talk about public safety and our focus on reducing Part 1 and Part 2 crime. That's my main focus.
How often are you called out on an average night in various areas due to homelessness? Either people suffering or having been hurt by somebody else who was homeless, or rapes. Do you have statistics on this? How bad is the problem? What would you tell people?
All I could say is I could give you crime stats for right now. Okay. And I could tell you that in crime in general, for January 1 to March 23, I had 66 crimes.
I'm happy to talk to you in a minute if you don't mind.
I want to talk to you.
Okay, so let's finish. I had 66 crimes in this area. From March 25th through today's date, I've had 30. So do I have a reduction of crime? Yes, I do. Okay. Does homelessness have crime associated with? Homeless people experiencing homelessness are both victims and can be suspects, just like any other citizen in LA. So we have to look at it that way. Okay. Thank you.
And anything else that you would add?
Thank you.
Could the governor help you?
It would be nice.
Thank you. How could the governor help you more? I'm running for governor against Newsom in the recall.
Good for you. I think that a lot of it has to do with the fact that it has to be dealt with for what it is, not just indicating that, hey, we got homeless people living on the street. A lot of it, a lot of the homelessness that we see on the streets and a lot of the encampments that we deal with, they have, there's a drug problem out here, and it's a huge drug problem, and that has to be dealt with because the meth and the heroin that's on the street is affecting a lot of these young kids that are coming out here, and it gets to the point where they can no longer function, and that's what's bringing them to homelessness. They can't work, they just can't function in society because of the fact that they've been exposed to the drug trade and to drug usage, and that in itself is a lot of problem. It really is, and people have.
Did you say half, a quarter? How many are fully?
Look, every encampment that I go to has some kind of drug activity, but some are worse than others. I mean, there's folks that stay in their tents all day long because they cannot function, and part of the problem is not just throwing money at the homeless problem. They have to throw money at resources that'll actually deal with what the true problem is, and a lot of it has to do with unfortunately drugs. A lot of it, and I can say that because I worked the entire city, and I was with law enforcement for 34 years before I got this position here. But what I see in a lot of these encampments, and you're more than welcome to come with me if you're
set it up.
You're more than welcome to come to see, and we can show you firsthand that it's just not the homelessness and people that can't afford homelessness. It's also a drug problem, and that has to be dealt with. Otherwise, we're going to stick with this cycle. I've seen it. That's what it is. That's what I'm witnessing firsthand. It's not all of it, but a large portion of it is.
Are you seeing solutions? Has anything changed over the last 10 years, or is it just getting worse?
Look, we've been throwing money at the homeless problem for a long time, and the homeless problem in many cities have grown. And not too long ago, there was a story on one of the local news channels that specifically spoke about the drug problem that we're dealing with homelessness. And it's just not here in LA. It's in San Francisco, it's in Sacramento, it's in smaller cities. We're dealing with that, and that has to be dealt with, because if you have people that can't function, or you have people that are depending on that narcotic, guess what's going to happen to them? Now, I'm not saying it's all like that, but a large percentage of it is. And so I think, as a future governor for California, that's one of the things that,
it's key.
That you have to look at.
Mental health, drug abuse.
Exactly.
Yeah. How dangerous is it? Like, a lot of Californians, I think, they don't see it every day. They don't know how dangerous it is living on the streets. How dangerous is it really?
Well, I think you have a lot of people waking up to that. I mean, look at the crime that comes with homelessness. I mean, they talk about people dying every day. 3 people a day die somewhere in the Los Angeles County, and a lot of it has to do not because they didn't have the resources or because they didn't have, food or water. It has to do with the fact that they're ODing. In 2020, we had 5 deaths at this park. 5. This is a 23-acre lake, right? And about 17 acres of that is water. So when you're looking at the area, the geographic area outside of the water, it's not that big. But 5 deaths contributing to homelessness, contributing to drug activity is what we're seeing. And, it's really unfortunate because, we need to focus on the true issues, and that's part of it.
Yeah, absolutely. So what would you say for those who economically fall into homelessness? Are they more likely to get exposed then to drugs or substance abuse, which makes it harder for them to ever rehabilitate back into society?
Well, look, there's a lot of resources out there. Okay, there's a lot of resources out there that'll help folks, try to get off the street. But you got to understand that there's rules that come with these resources, and some of the folks, that are homeless just don't want to use them. But there are some that are designed. For instance, Project Rookie. A lot of people are not a fan of that because of the fact that there's rules there. You have to be in by 7 o'clock in the evening. You can't drink, you can't smoke there, but they're feeding you, and they're helping take those are short-term solutions to help people that are down on their luck and get back into society. Right. But a lot of those folks don't want it.
And how much of that? How much do you think the governor could change? And what would be the top, say, 3 things you would change if you were governor tomorrow to solve homelessness? Is it mental health? Is it drugs? Is it all of it? Is it education in schools? Well, what would you focus on? Shelter, safety?
Well, the first thing that I would go after on that would be the narcotic activity and drinking activity that moves into mental disparity. I mean, that's one of the things that I would look at too. And also, instead of just having resources thrown out and throwing money into the streets, for homeless individuals, let's try to do something to where we could, maybe move them into temporary housing, where the government does not have to take care of them on a long term, but somewhere where, we can actually put these folks and help them out and let them get rehabilitated to go back in the street. But if we don't focus on the actual, narcotic problem that's bringing a lot of these folks down, and unfortunately, it's not everybody. There's a lot of good people that are down in their luck that are trying, but these are the people that take our resources. And so, I see it every day, and it's, really, really sad, because I've seen people when they first come into homelessness, where they started using drug uses, and then, you see a 25, 26-year-old kid, and then you see him 7-8 months later, and they look like they're 70 years old, and that's really sad.
Yes.
And, I don't know what all the answers are, but I do believe, from what I see in the street and being out here every day, boots on the ground, is that the narcotics, the meth, the heroin has gotten a stronghold on a lot of these young kids. And I can show you that firsthand if you ever like to take a walk with me.
Thank you so much for your time.
All right, good luck, guys.
Thank you. I am interested in that. How could I set that up?
Give me a call.
Yeah, can I text you?
Yeah, you can text me.
Man, I don't want to interrupt. I want to talk to you if you don't mind.
I really do. I appreciate it. I feel like you're proselytizing Jesus right now. You've got everything like this. I'm not comfortable talking to you.
Okay.
I did talk to some people around that know a little bit more about you than I do. But I think you're running for governor, and you're out here in the park showboat to get some more views on your YouTube channel.
It's not about views. It's about solving the problem. We got to solve homelessness. It's a disaster.
And what are your qualifications to be governor?
Well, the people decide who runs, and as governor, I'll put the right people in place to make sure.
That's a bullshit answer.
No, it's not.
That's a bullshit answer.
No, it's not.
What are your qualifications to be governor?
I'm a California citizen, and that's what you need. That's what we need.
And you have no job skills that you can speak of that would make you qualified to be a governor?
I've got a lot of job skills, and I encourage you to check out everything about me. It's fully transparent, including my tax returns, by going to me, Kevin, on YouTube.
I'm not that interested.
That's fine.
About your tax
What's
returns
more important?
For you or your cheering section over here, Kevin?
What's more important is solving homelessness, and that's what we're here for today. We're bringing attention to the people dying on our streets. That's why we're talking to the chief of parks here. That's why we're talking to the captain of the Los Angeles Police Department, so we can understand.
What is your solution for fixing the homeless problem?
So we have a detailed solution. I'll give you a very brief example.
Focus it on Echocard. What's the future of Echocard and homelessness?
The first day of my administration, there'll be about a 5-week transition period.
That's really too optimistic for me not to at least chuckle at that.
Well, I haven't even said what it is yet.
Go ahead. Yeah. No, but that you think you're going to have the first day of your administration is really funny. But go ahead.
Okay. Well, day one of my administration, the National Guard is deployed everywhere we have homelessness. Not with guns, with compassion, with 3 meals a day, with hygiene products, with showers, with shelter. And guess what? If we can build shelters in Afghanistan under gunfire, we can build 80 facilities to house 2,000 folks each throughout our state. That deals with our...
the National Guard?
The National Guard is made up of the branches of our military, whether that's the Army, the Navy.
It's made up of people in California who have families and jobs who need to work.
And they're getting paid.
Are only going to be called away for National Guard in times of a national emergency. You don't know what you're talking about. See you later.
Well, we will be declaring a state of emergency because people dying on our streets is a state of emergency.
I don't disagree. I don't disagree that homelessness is a huge problem. I'm a compassionate person that has spoken out against it for a long time. Where our paths cross is I don't think a public park that benefits the entire neighborhood should be allowed to exist in the conditions that this lake was previously. And I don't know if you do or not, but it seems as though you seem to think that Echo Park should be turned back into a campground.
That's not what I said. That's not what I said, because after 60 days, as part of our first 60-day plan, we are moving folks and inviting folks to our facilities where we actually have services for them. I just said we are building 80 of them, and they're going to include mental health, substance abuse, educational services.
Started yet?
Well, not governor yet.
Okay, so do you know that it takes longer than 1 4-year governor's term to build these buildings you're talking about?
No, it doesn't. It takes 60 days of the National Guard under emergency powers to build temporary facilities, which is what we're building within 60 days.
Well, I wish you the best of luck, because
Thank you.
I'd love to see all the homeless people get help.
That's what we're doing.
See the people who don't have a house.
I agree.
Have a place to go.
Bingo.
I would love to see all of the income inequality issues in this country.
It's another issue.
I would love, because if people are not poor, they have less problems.
Bingo.
If you ask, I read something in the New York Times, a poll of psychologists, where 90%, psychologists said 90% of their patients don't have psychological problems. They have money problems that cause them stress.
Bingo.
So
Bingo.
hopefully if you get elected and prove me wrong and put this video up of me laughing at you,
No, don't
use
worry
it for your ads if you'd like after you win. I hope that you continue, after you clean up the homelessness issue, to work on income inequality issues that would affect and improve the lives of everyone in this park today, the police, you guys, your quote-unquote
Can I ask you one question?
section, which I didn't mean in a bad way.
No worries.
You guys were just excited.
One question for you. Do you think financial education should be taught to 14 to 18-year-olds?
I think financial education should be taught by parents to 14 I mean, I had a bank book when I was 3.
All right, well,
I started walking around the neighborhood selling pecans when I was 6.
That's fortunate.
You want some pecans? They're $2 a pound.
Well, very entrepreneurial. I think it's great. Yeah, I think it's great. Take a look at my plan. I think you'll like it because we've got a future schools plan that'll teach everybody financial education and be able to get a career by 18. So that way at 18, you're not stuck trying to get a job maybe at McDonald's. You can have a career at 18.
I gotta tell you, Kevin, you earned some more points with me on there because I don't think everybody should be forced into college.
Bingo.
I don't think the big business of college and selling student loans should be the singular focus of our country.
Debt-free by 18.
I got a 21-year-old cousin who climbs up those great big light things bigger than that building over there. Owns a home, has a wife and a kid, makes 80 grand a year in overtime. He's 21 years old.
There you go.
Those kind of skilled jobs are out there.
They're out there.
Something you're for? Hey, I'm not too big or dumb to say when I'm wrong.
What do you think, man? What's been going on? We talked earlier, man. I want to hear it.
We did talk earlier.
Yeah. What you got, man?
I want to know. Oh, thank you.
Yeah.
I want to ask you.
Sure, man.
First of all, what is your plan? I want to hear it.
Yeah.
I want to take the time to understand what your plan is.
Perfect. The homeless plan or all plans?
Homeless plan.
Oh, let's start there. Okay, there's a lot. Homeless plan, first 30 days, National Guard provides compassion, support, food, 3 meals a day, access to clean bathrooms and showers so the people who fall homeless actually have somebody that cares about them. We're not talking about guns with National Guard, we're talking about people to serve. Now give the National Guard dignity, give the people on the streets some dignity. At the same time, we gotta build places for people to be able to go and get additional support. That additional support includes mental health support, substance support, educational support, and even transportation to get you to schooling if you want to build an education and get back into the society, man.
Those are all necessities.
Absolutely.
I'm gonna lie. I can't even lie.
Go.
Those are all valid necessities. The fact of the matter is, I do want to understand that compassion is very necessary.
So necessary.
If we don't have the kind of compassion to understand that these people are broken, these people they've been broken down by the system. They've not been broken down by themselves, they've been broken down by a system that is systematically designed to break them down. So if we can understand that these people need exactly what you need, exactly what you said, verbatim, we need food, we need shelter, we need people who actually care about
basics, man.
Basics. Basics. Realistically, it's inhumane for these people not to have these
Bingo.
things. Let's not talk about colors or races now. It's inhumane for people not to be allowed to use the restroom.
Bingo.
It's inhumane for people not to have 3 meals a day. It's inhumane for people to be out here in the streets. It's inhumane, period. For anyone to be sleeping on the bus or a train.
Bingo.
So if we can make those things change, and that's really your movement, I would love to see that happen.
That's my day one priority because I am tired of this. I'm just tired of seeing the 5th largest economy treat humans like this. It's unacceptable.
Are you running for office?
I'm running for governor.
That's what I thought.
We gotta recall Newsom and get him out.
You're not the one in power. Like, why,
Tell me about your experiences.
I liked the homeless here. It got a little intense, but they were interesting. They did have a community. And all these people who said they could not come here because of them were full of crap. Because I came here through the whole pandemic. I'm old. We walked every week. We made friends with the homeless. The paths were open. Dogs were here. People were exercising. The people who didn't come use the park just didn't want to see the homeless.
There you go.
Very much.
So,
So did they try to just put a bandage on Echo Park to try to bandage the problem, or were they actually helping the people who were displaced from here?
No, they didn't help them.
They're not helping.
They separated them all over. I just read about Orange County. They took a bunch of people who lived under a freeway They moved them together. They knew they were a community. And now all the people here, they're in Whittier, they're in Orange County, they're downtown. They don't have their friends.
And still no shelter.
And it's the room key thing.
I can hold it for you.
So they have to leave shortly. It's not like they found homes for them.
Yeah.
And Mitch O'Connell is like, oh, we helped them. No.
No. Did you want to say something else?
Yes, I was just brought to my attention.
Yes,
sorry.
No, I've heard it. Thank you.
It was just brought to my attention that someone from the Queen here from the community was actually sexually harassed by one of the Team Mitchell's officials. What are you going to do about that?
Oh my God. Well, here's the thing. There should never in our state be any form of sexual harassment or assault. And you know where it's worst? I was told by individuals, nonprofits that I interviewed to go out of my way about homelessness, that the rape rate amongst women on our streets who spend their first 24 hours on the street is 100%. That 100% of women who spend their first night homeless are victims of rape. We have to end that. This is unacceptable.
So how are you going to end it?
I was a victim of rape. As a matter of fact, not too many long ago, I had to pick up a lineup. But you know what? They're victims. He just cut my breast, and he has the best disguise ever because he's in uniform and we have on camera. This is one thing, and I even told him stop touching my breast, and he goes and squishes 2 times. I'm sorry, but this is the kind of like security. This is what we have to be in peace at the end of the night. I'd rather be with the wolves.
Thank you for sharing that. Jeez, it's bad, man. It's bad. You gotta fix it, man. Anything else you want to add?
Last thing I want to add, I just feel like I like your energy.
Thank you.
I hope that you keep your words. That's what we need.
That's the most important thing.
We've been lied to enough. We've had fake promises.
Yep.
We've had all that.
Yep.
These people out here who are suffering, and I'm one of them. I feel like we all need to change.
Yep.
I feel like the time is now. It's not yesterday.
It's now. It's today. It's day
now.
one.
Day one. So,
day one, man.
Day one. If you could please start that for us, I'd really appreciate it.
Thank you, man. Thank you.
I want to get your information. We have you on the show. Have a real interview, but
let's do it.
if you want to film anything now, I'll ask you a bunch of questions.
No.
But our camera crew's over for the press conference.
That's fine. Let's do it. So your show's fine. Hit me up. I'll write it down for you.
If you have a card, I can write down my.
Or better yet, let me just text you right now.
All right.
That's the best way to reach you.
My name is Craig, but they call me Pasta.
Is that with a C?
Yeah, but they call me Pasta, like the food.
I love it.
Pasta. Yes. And my numbers. Let me know when you're ready for my number.
Great.
3, 2, 3. Yeah. So how about those Dodgers?
That's a good social security number.
So what if I was asking? Let me just.
Yeah.
I like to have on the show.
Let's do it.
We'll spin off and
Let's
whatnot. I don't know why you run as a Democrat. I would run as an independent. That's me personally. But, why don't you tell us why you're running as a Democrat and what you would have done differently here?
Yeah.
To show some compassion towards the people that were thrown out. Because I got to be honest with you, I was supporting the people that were living here, whatnot. I understand there's a lot of people that, they wanted their kids to run in the grass and just be healthy and walk and whatnot, and I get that, and I understand that. But during a pandemic, our most vulnerable, and they had built a community and a society where they were trying to keep the place up, cook properly for themselves, trying to keep drugs out. I know that's not always going to be possible, but what would you have done differently?
Yeah, so day one, what we want to do is provide compassion for the people who are suffering. The way we do that is with 3 meals a day, with access to hygiene products, clean bathrooms, safety and security, so people aren't getting raped and beaten anymore on the streets. We do that by deploying the National Guard, not with guns or to arrest people, to serve. Because that's what the National Guard should do, to serve our nation. And that's what we're going to do in the state of California. But what we're also going to do in the first 60 days is we're going to build emergency facilities, 80 of them throughout the state. 2,000 each, that's 160,000. We got about 168,000 homeless, so maybe 84.
The conservatives go, where's he getting the money from? How are you going to build 80?
Yeah, exactly. So we start our administration with a California transition bond because we're going to lower taxes as well. We're going to offset that by legalizing gambling, by creating optional toll roads with a revenue share, by reforming our schooling with future schools, especially when Biden starts paying for our free colleges. If he does, we'll see. Things are held up in the federal Congress. I know, right? But anyway, with the California transition bond, we're going to fill in those gaps. We're going to start investing in California, and the ordinary Californians are going to be able to invest in California with a tax-preferred bond, and we're going to make this state have its problem solved. It's going to take a lot of work, but it's going to start with homelessness. Then we're going to schooling. Then we're doing transportation. Then we're doing housing. We're actually starting all of those day one.
Yeah.
But There's some things we'll have to do through the legislature, but we will on day one institute at least 4 states of emergency, housing, transportation, schooling, and homelessness, and we're going to start work day one. I've only got 1 year. See, if I get elected, I only get 1 year. That's it. And then I have to run again. So if I suck the first year, people can kick me out. Gavin Newsom's been in this business for 17 years, and things have only gotten worse.
What's your biggest criticism of Gavin Newsom, what he did? And also, too, as well, I heard you talk about raising money by legalizing gambling. Where are you going to cut some money funding? Well, because you're going to get that question from conservatives. Spending bull. So those 2 questions.
We're not coming in to try to cut jobs or cut unions out. We want to work with everyone in California to make California better. That's why we're starting with a transition bond. That's why we're starting by lowering taxes, so we stop having a flight of capital and human capital out of our state. We got to work together to solve the big problems we have in our state. We need a strong leader to do that. Not a leader who's going to say, shut down all the restaurants, 1/3 of restaurants go bankrupt, disproportionately affecting Hispanics and blacks or anyone really in our state, while he's whining and dining at the French Laundry. Lots of issues. I don't even look around California. You don't even have to think too hard to know what's wrong with California and why people are leaving. We got to talk about the solutions.
You had a big pushback over there from those people over there that were really upset. How are you going to break through to those people of the community? Who are the activists who do the hard work in the street, who do go out and feed the homeless people? How are you going to break through to those people if you're having right now a little bit of a blockade where you can't come to a park and answer simple questions and you get hounded?
So I come here dressed in a suit and tie. I look like the representation of our existing institutions which have failed the activists that are here. On day one, we're not just working with the National Guard to solve homelessness, we're working with all nonprofits who are willing to work with us and all businesses throughout California who are willing to help solve our problems. For example, why are we spending $125 million a mile building a high-speed rail when we could be spending $10 million a mile building strategic tunnels where there's a lot of congestion? Imagine if the LAX interchange or the 10 miles between the 10 and the 101-405 interchange, imagine we had 6 tunnels under there where folks can free flow with traffic in both directions. We'd start solving traffic. That increases our GDP. That increases the strength of our economy. More people staying here, less people leaving, more sales tax revenues. There are a lot of ways to solve what we got going on. Gavin Newsom's not the answer.
Where do you get your money from, and are you going to disallow certain money coming in from dark entities? How are you going to fundraise to get all these things done to get your name out there?
Fundraising is probably going to be one of our challenges initially, but we expect once folks hear our plan, they're going to love our plan. So I'm pre-funding my campaign to make sure we can get this campaign moving.
Money?
Well, look, I haven't even gotten an offer of corporate money. My average donation.
If you do get an offer, will you turn it down?
Well, here's the thing. To me, it's not so much about where the money comes from, it's how it's spent. See, let me tell you this.
Well, that's a slippery slope.
No, because here's what I do.
If somebody's going to give you money, they're going to expect something for it. So if you take dark money,
then
have to expect
I'm not taking
practices.
dark money. No. Because here's how I'm operating different. I'm coming in as a transparent YouTuber. Everything about my life is on YouTube. And so we've been daily vlogging our campaign since we started this campaign. We're going to do the same as governor. So when we get donations, people know that our average donation right now is $48, and they know that we raised $84,000 in the first week. We're transparent about our campaign, and we're transparent about the growth of it. So every dollar we get, we're also going to be transparent with how we spend it. That's what we don't get right now. We get Mark Zuckerberg donating $3 million and Facebook donating $27 million on behalf of Governor Newsom to get people to elect Newsom in 2020. That's what gets shady.
Are you going to defund the police, or what are you going to do with the police situation? A lot of people want a lot of fat cut out of the police department, all the money that's spent over there. Are you going to demilitarize it? You're going to take these weapons off the street that are being used against our citizens? What is your plan to attack the police?
So our plan starts with community policing, and the way we do that is by taking non-violent folks who are in our jails and prisons and taking guards who are working with them and getting them on our streets. Rather than in our jails, we're cleaning up graffiti, we're cleaning up trash, and we're being a presence in communities in a non-militaristic way. That's how we start. We don't need guns to do community service. We need to be present. And that's how we start. There are a lot more things to do, but we've got a big plan coming for that.
Are you going to hold the policemen accountable for what's been going on? Because we know they investigate themselves. What are you going to do to solve that problem?
Transparency is key. I'm tired of hearing instances and then, we can't release this footage for 60 days and all this crap. We just need transparency. The people deserve to know exactly what's going on.
I'm gonna watch your YouTube channel, study up, and have you on the show, and then really come at you hard. That was the softball. Good luck today, man.
Thank you. What's up, man? Come on in. Come on in.
I don't want to come in too much. I just want to figure out how you're going to solve homelessness in 60 days.
Oh, I want to answer it for you.
Go home like this.
Good point. All right, so here's our plan. So I'm running for governor. The first problem is.
There we go. Right there.
Yeah, well.
Campaign.
Did you like my idea?
I liked your idea when you said that you were going to come in and end homelessness. Yeah.
I'm tired of seeing people die and get beaten on the streets, brutalized. The government is failing. We need somebody at the top who's going to fix it. Here's exactly how I think we do that. First, we got to show compassion. People are dying on the streets, man. This is the 5th largest economy and people are dying on the streets. It's unacceptable. So first thing is we got to show compassion for anybody who's living on the street. The government doesn't show compassion today. The government's a disaster. And we need 3 meals a day. People need food to survive. We need clean bathrooms, hygiene, showers, so people can have dignity. Our government's not doing any of that right now. And that's a basic need the government should be providing. Day one, that's what I start with, is providing those services for everybody who is homeless. After that, we build at least 80 high quality places of shelter where people, if they want, have access to education, doctors, mental health support, whatever they need. We do that in one place. So no more of this, go over there, they'll help you with that, go over there, you'll get this, go over there. The programs in this state are trash because they're all over the place. So we're gonna put them in one place. We're gonna copy that 80 times throughout the state so we can finally start addressing people dying on our streets. But homelessness is so much more than that. It's our failed school systems. People should be able to graduate at 18 and get a job, like a career. Our schools teach us geometry and geography. That's not gonna help me get a real job. That's a big problem too. People go to college, they graduate with a bunch of debt, or they don't go to college, they can't even get a job.
Yeah.
Those are big problems. We have a lot of problems. Housing affordability. Tell me, what do you think? What do you think this government should do? Because they're failing right now.
I think what you just told me is consistent with what the politicians been saying for the last 50 years in this city.
In the city,
state.
right? And
the whole state,
the whole,
you running for governor, I don't see that's a solution to end homelessness.
You know how we do it?
You know the reason why I say that?
Tell me.
100%. Because for one, the numbers are all wrong. I agree with you on that. Right? The city is talking about 60,000 people is homeless.
Way more than that.
I say Stevie Wonder can count better than that, you know. Put a 1 or 2 in front of
Come on, man, yeah.
Right?
Yep, you're right.
Another situation, you ain't counting the people that's in jail. You don't count the people that's in the hospitals. Right? You don't count the people that's getting out of prison.
The counts are broken.
Right? You don't count none of that.
Yep.
And then on top of that, a lot of the shit that the city's been doing.
Yep.
Right? Look at the homeless crisis where we see it right now. It's not a crisis, it's a disaster.
It's an emergency.
You don't get California leads the nation in homelessness. That means you the worstest.
Bingo.
You the meanest.
Bingo.
How the you get past worse than the Confederate states, Georgia, Mississippi, Alabama, you know what I mean, et cetera, and so on. Right? You know, tell you how? By continuing to do the same thing you just talking about.
Well, let me ask you, here's what's different.
Invested in shelters and invested in policing.
You know what's different?
I've been doing this work, LA Can. I've been working, right, as a human and civil rights organizer, and also member of Cop Watch LA, and I'm also a point man on our community watch team.
Perfect.
That's been documenting the homeless crisis for the last 15 years.
Oh, you gotta talk more.
I've been involved with 3 major lawsuits, right, that the city's been involved with. Jones versus the city of Los Angeles, Tony Levan versus the city of Los Angeles, which I personally organized Tony Levan, and him just took Carl Sobel, who filed a suit against the city. That lawsuit went all the way to the Supreme Court, you know, where they went to deny homeless people the right to possess property in this city. The Supreme Court didn't even hear it, they shot it down. Just months later, we was involved in another lawsuit called Mitchell versus the city of Los Angeles, right, which is another property rights lawsuit where the city was again found guilty in federal court, right? They didn't get it then. Currently, the city, just months later, the city was hit with another lawsuit, Garcia versus the city of Los Angeles. So in the last 20 years, I've been doing the work, 15 to 16 of that 20 years. The city has been sued 7 times.
Gosh.
7 times they've been found guilty in federal court.
Yeah.
Right? Of directly denying the property rights of homeless people, or just straight out 8th Amendment cruel and unusual punishments. Right?
Jeez.
And so if that was me,
Yeah.
you know what I'm saying? I'd have been struck out in the penitentiary on my 3rd strike.
Gee.
But now here's the city, you know, on their 7th strike, you know what I'm saying? And they still govern over the homeless crisis, you know what I'm saying? Like they know what they're doing.
You mean fail over the homeless crisis,
yeah,
man? Come on.
politicians,
That's
you know
right.
what I mean? Like
You're
they
right.
know what they're doing.
That's right.
You
What
know
would you do?
When it was politicians, y'all, they got us in the government. That's in this situation. Matter of fact, it was the federal government back in the 80s, HUD, when they cut the budget in housing. Remember when the federal government got out of housing? They say we don't want to do it no more, right? Because America is one of the only countries that's a member of the United Nations but don't believe in none of the damn declarations.
Wow.
Like housing is a human right.
Yeah.
Water is a human right.
Yep.
They don't believe in none of that shit.
Yep.
So how it trickled down from the 80s, we told them, when HUD started cutting the budget from billions of dollars, got out of it, and left the housing up to the city for these slumlords and corporations to decide who build housing, who get housing, and who don't. So we already know from the 80s, we saw Skid Row starting to build up.
Well, that's why they just built fancy houses now. You know, it's ridiculous.
To rise.
Yeah.
So
That's what started.
Now Judge Carter come. You know, everybody know about the judge, right? And he just gave the city these new orders of what they got to do, right? Well, let me tell you about Judge Carter. Judge Carter's full of shit, just like the city. Judges are politicians too.
Oh, yeah?
Because you know where his office is at? His office is right on Skid Row, surrounded by encampments. You know what I'm saying? I mean, so how do you drive past this shit every day, go in the federal building and talk about human and civil rights and constitutional rights, and you don't say shit about the violations outside your window, not until the case file hit your desk.
Yep.
You know what I'm saying? So
it's all
for
paperwork.
for me, that's the reason why I come like George Floyd, you know what I'm saying? Rebellion and all the other rebellions, people take it to the streets.
Yep.
And so that's what it's gonna take for this to really, when people really get justice. Because when you look at it, homelessness finna triple up at the end of this month because the COVID-19 evictions finna kick in, which they say is around 500,000 right now that the city gotta deal with.
Yep.
And so you put that on top of what's already going down. Then if you did get $1 million or $1 billion right now today, you ain't gonna be, Rome wasn't built in one night.
No, not in one night.
I mean? So what are you gonna do with the folks that's on the streets? Everybody ain't finna go in the shelters. Folks over there right now is telling you 50 million reasons why they ain't. You know what I'm saying? I mean, listen to the people. Quit building without the people. You know what I'm saying?
Gotta be involved.
That's the reason why come people, they say, oh, we built all this, they don't want to come. No, they didn't come because you didn't invite them to the table.
Exactly.
And then when you don't invite them to the table, they don't accept it. Then you say they shelter resistant.
Bingo.
No, we resistant to the you know what I'm saying?
Let me ask you this. So you work in advocacy on this. If you were governor tomorrow, what would you do?
What would Shea Chavera do? I would destroy the system. I would destroy the books. Because this shit ain't working for us.
It ain't working, that's right.
America got one problem she needs to deal with, and that's race. Because when you look at the homeless crisis right here, I would agree with Judge Carter say. It's institutional racism got roots that's deeply embedded. Because when you look on Skid Row, you only see black folks that's dominantly on the ground. You know, it ain't by coincidence that homelessness is down for white folks in the valley, 32%. But on Skid Row, it's up for black folks. So if you're gonna solve homelessness in 60 days, you need to go to Skid Row and start working with the black folks. Particularly the sisters too, because they the ones that's suffering the most.
I couldn't agree with you more. Thank you for that.
Power to the people.
Yeah.
Fuck the police.
Let me ask you this. If the government, with a governor who cared, brought those 3 meals a day and worked with the community, do you think a governor can make a change?
No, the only way the government... I was telling people years ago, right, the number one... Well, we ran for a homeless bill of rights in the state of California 10 years ago. The state shot it down. It didn't get past appropriations. Past assembly. I spoke for it, you know, at the assembly. But it didn't get past appropriations. That's to decide who's going to pay for it.
Who's going to appropriate it?
So them users talking about money. Everything,
it's all money, man.
Never get past appropriations. Our issues. Right? And so, I mean, you're a governor, the must say homelessness is the number one political issue. Not even in this state, but in this country. Right? And so, I mean, you got to think of solutions for housing. You got to build housing, man. When you look at it, I'm going to tell you this and I'm leaving. When you look at here we are in the year 2021, don't you know the Australopithecus, the Zinganthropus, those are all pre-man, back in caveman, before caveman days, right? Yet he was in his barbaric state. He had enough intelligence to know that he needed a house, right?
That's not hard,
His house came before his name, caveman.
Yep.
Yeah, right?
Yep.
And so if he got enough conscience to know that, then we should have to do. Then on top of that, look around Mother Nature. You can't show me not one animal, insect, or bug that's homeless, right? The only ones you see that's homeless is the ones that they've been domesticated by us, you know what I'm saying? Then kicked out the house,
Yep.
you know what I'm saying?
Yep.
Those are the only ones you see. But other than that, the rats got a house, the roaches got a house, the birds got penthouses, you know what I'm saying? And so everybody got a house but man. You only see man here in the year 2021 sleeping bareback, sleeping wilder than the Zinganthropus. He had enough sense to go in the cave. You know what I'm saying? So brother, get the house.
Let's fix it, man.
And you be the man.
We'll get that. We'll do it, man.
Bomb.com.
Remember my name, Kevin. Remember Kevin Paffrath, okay? Meet Kevin.
All right.
Nice to meet you, man.
Kevin gonna do it.
We're gonna do it, man.
Kevin gonna do it.
We're gonna do it, man.
If you don't, you gotta answer to the people.
Look, here's the thing. You know this recall election coming up?
Yeah.
If I get in, I only get a year. And then I gotta get voted in again. This is the only time a governor gets just 1 year. So I get in, I gotta prove myself the first year.
You got a shot.
I got my shot.
That's all you need is a shot, right?
And I'm gonna find you and we're gonna talk. Do you have a phone? Can I text you? Chicago, oh my gosh, man. That was one of my best videos.
Yeah, I saw that video.
Man, Chicago. You know what's good about Detroit though is it's getting really nice downtown and that's spreading. Yeah. It's getting really nice, man.
Yeah, I was
like,
checking you out. I was like, oh, okay.
man, my buddy and I, we were this close to buying up there. Yeah. We don't like being far away because it's harder to work with people, you know?
Right.
But we were really close to buying up there. It's gonna come around again, for sure.
Cool.
But hey, thanks, man.
Thank you, brother.
Appreciate it.
Yeah,
thanks,
care.
Thanks. Appreciate it. Let's go. So we're standing outside of Wheel Fun Rentals here in Echo Park. You worked here before the park was shut down. What was it like before, and how did it affect business the way it was before? What's different, and what was it like being out of work for the last few months?
It was a little challenging. I'm one of those folks that has a hard time sitting still, which is why I like working here. But I do like the improvements that they have made. They've laid down a lot of grass. They repainted our boathouse. They're also wiring us up with some cameras to, help with security. You've also seen the police presence here, so that's really reassuring as well. And it just looks a lot cleaner, and I think everybody can appreciate that. I remember there was a time I was working another gig a few days ago. I was about to litter, and there was nothing else on the street. I put my trash in my pocket. So if you can, catch what I'm getting at with that, I think other people will catch on to that too.
So because it's clean, other people want to be more clean, keep it clean. Did it get out of hand before? How was it before in your experience? And did it affect business?
It did. Honestly, there were a lot of we had a handful of customers that had let us know, hey, I just don't feel too comfortable bringing my kids to the park with the folks that are living in the park and the conditions around the park. And we would respond, and say, yes, we understand how you feel about it, but there's not much that we can do about that. We have forwarded this on to the city, and then the city did what they did. So
short of or before what happened, did the city try to help at all? Was there a lot of city involvement, or did it kind of just slowly get worse and worse and worse?
There was a time I remember the folks would come in and it was gut-wrenching. I would look at it, and from the outside looking in, it didn't seem like they were cleaning up the park when they came in with the trucks and stuff and moving everybody out. It seemed like they were evicting homeless people. Wow. And so that was something that was just really hard.
That was that day when they finally came.
Well, long before, before Corona had really heated everything up and we got a lot more people in, they would do these park cleanups. And so I think they've done them also in like Skid Row and other parts that are kind of really populated with the homeless folks.
And it seemed like they were just evicting people.
Yeah, and so that was really hard to watch and see. And it was, it got your blood boiling. But, and then also being here and being, for a while, you make connections and relationships with people. And so like Roger up here in the Yellow Explorer, he's a great guy. Jose in the BMW with his 2 Chihuahuas. I've made friends, and so to see them going through what they're going through, and then the heartlessness that they get treated with is, it's hard to watch. But what I did read, and what was also reassuring, was that the city did house a good bit of the folks that were here. I think there was something like just over 200 cases, and I got about 180 or so of them squared away and into some sort of housing.
That's sort of what they told you they were doing.
Yeah, well, I had kind of like dug it up online.
Oh,
but you can put anything on the internet, I guess, so I probably shouldn't be repeating that.
Well, who knows, yeah. So now, obviously things are clean now, you're reopened again. How do you make up for all the lost revenues? I mean, how much revenue did you guys lose?
That one I don't have my hands into.
No. But I mean, how many days were you closed?
Let's say almost 2 months.
Yeah. And that's zero revenue. Did the city compensate you at all?
Most of our folks had filed for unemployment. Like I said, I have a hard time sitting still, so I had found some construction work to do, and then I also jumped back on with a micro-mobility company. So you'll probably see me out there running around swapping batteries.
But, I got you, okay.
Yeah, but it's good to be back, you know, and it's good to see a lot of more smiling faces, and you know, people seem happier too.
Are you seeing the same faces come back, talk to you about their experience the last 2 months? What have you felt there?
Yeah, actually, Gil is a good friend of mine. He walks around the park. I just caught up with him. We've had one of our vendors. Their truck is up there, but they're not. Of course, they're not selling anything right now
because the police are here.
Yeah, which is another thing that we've been thinking about. Because I also have, you know, pretty much all of our staff here have relationships with the vendors. We go over buy lunch or something from them, and so it's, you know, it's kind of hard to not have them here. You know,
did the police just kick them out, or?
Well, today is our first day back open. I haven't seen them like actually kick anybody out. Okay. But I don't think anybody's actually trying to vend right now either. But I've never actually seen the folks like kick any vendors out.
Okay.
Yeah.
It's an improvement, but what do you think about the homelessness problem, though? Where are they all going to come back? Where do they go? Is the government helping them? What do you think? Last question, we'll call it.
I think there was Measure H from way back when we pumped a whole lot of money into, and again, what I had read online, hate to repeat it, but it seemed like we were building these structures that were, you know, at grand scale, you know, and I get that there's, you don't want to give somebody just a shack to live in, but you also don't want to give them a 2-story condo.
Sure.
You know, but there's, you know, maybe there's some sort of happy medium. Just ask folks what they want, you know. Yeah. Will a 1-bedroom and 1 bath suffice? Maybe there's a way to do that with these RVs that I've seen them pumping out to.
Are you seeing that outreach now or not really?
I can say that moving around Los Angeles, I have seen a lot more services for the homeless population.
Okay, good. And from nonprofits, or is the government helping?
That one I can't put my finger on. I see them, you know, working with the population. Yeah.
But it seems like homelessness is getting worse.
Yeah. Rent is crazy. I mean, I'm paying $1,400 for a 1-bedroom.
Housing's unaffordable.
Yeah. So, and it's like literally, that'll put you paycheck to paycheck. So, it's a tough one, but
Well, I was just going to say thank you for taking the time, and especially away from your job here. So shout out to Wheel Fund Rentals. And what can people do here in case they want to come? So we're at Echo Park, Wheel Fund Rentals. Should people reserve first? What should they do?
Yes, we do need you to make a reservation online before you come down and see us. That website is wheelfundrentals.com/pay. That'll take you right to the booking website. Has all of the details. We'll need you to make your payment online and then show up with an ID card, and then we'll use that to sign you up with a safety waiver, and we'll get you on a boat.
Thank you so much.
No problem. Thank you, guys.
Thank you, man. Seriously. That's awesome, man. Well, there you have it, folks. Echo Park is reopened. We got a whole lot of different perspectives, and there's one thing we know with certainty. Gavin Newsom's gotta go. Go to meetkevin.com to learn about the plan and campaign. Go to meetkevin.com/donate to donate to support the campaign, and we'll see you next time.